Before David's rise, Israel had Saul, a tall, powerful king chosen by the people for his appearance. But when Saul disobeyed God, Samuel declared, "The Lord has sought a man after his own heart." Saul's reign would continue for a time, but his favor was gone. God's eyes turned toward Bethlehem to a shepherd boy named David. In Bethlehem, God sent Samuel to anoint Israel's next king. Jesse brought out his sons, Eliab, Abinadab, Shammah, strong and impressive. Samuel thought, surely this one. But God said no. Each brother passed, and still no choice. Samuel glances around. Jesse hesitates. Samuel asked, "Are all your sons here?" Jesse replied, "There remains the youngest. He is keeping the sheep." David enters, dusty, tanned, eyes full of wonder. The Lord said, "Rise and anoint him, for this is he." The oil flowed, and the Spirit of God came upon David from that day forward. The boy who no one considered worthy was chosen by the King of Heaven. Soon after, Saul's peace left him. Troubled by an evil spirit, his servants said, "Find someone skilled to play the harp." Word reached them about a shepherd who played with grace. David was brought before the king. In the palace, David found favor. His music soothed the king's soul. The future king served the present one, faithfully, humbly, quietly. Then came a test that would echo for generations. The Philistines gathered in the valley of Elah. Their champion, Goliath of Gath, mocked Israel for 40 days. Saul and his army trembled. David's brothers mocked him. "Why have you come?" But David answered, "Is there not a cause?" He believed God's honor was greater than any fear. The stone flew. The giant fell. A single act of faith changed Israel's future. After the battle, David's fame spread through Israel. But in the palace, he found a true friend, Jonathan, Saul's son. The bond between them was deep and loyal. They made a covenant before God, promising steadfast love. David's victories grew, and so did Saul's jealousy. The songs of Israel praised David. The shadows of envy crept into Saul's heart. Driven from the palace, David fled into the wilderness. Yet, even in exile, God shaped his heart. Outlaws and wanderers came to him, broken men who would become his mighty warriors. Twice, Saul came within reach. In En-Gedi's cave, David cut a corner of Saul's robe. Later, in the wilderness of Ziph, he stood over Saul's sleeping form. But he refused revenge. "The Lord forbid that I should stretch out my hand against his anointed." On Mount Gilboa, Saul's story reached its end. Surrounded by enemies, the once great king fell. Jonathan, David's beloved friend, died beside him. David mourned deeply. Though Saul had hunted him, David honored the fallen king. His lament still echoes, "How the mighty have fallen." After years in hiding, David was crowned king in Hebron, ruling over Judah. Yet Israel remained divided. Saul's commander, Abner, crowned Ishbosheth in the north. For 7 years, civil war simmered. But even amid conflict, David sought peace. When Abner defected, David welcomed him. Slowly, the nation's heart turned toward the shepherd king. At last, the tribes of Israel came together. "We are your bone and your flesh," they said. In Jerusalem, David was anointed king over all Israel. The shepherd had become the sovereign. David built his kingdom not on pride, but on worship. His heart remained tuned to God. He danced before the ark, wrote psalms of praise, and led his people with humility. Though David would face failures and heartbreak ahead, his legacy remained anchored in one truth: God looks at the heart. Through courage, loyalty, patience, and worship, David showed us that greatness begins in humility. From shepherd to sovereign, David's rise shows that God's call often begins in the most unexpected places. The world saw a boy. God saw a king. And He still sees beyond appearances, to the heart. Which moment in David's journey speaks most to you? His courage, his loyalty, or his patience? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this story, subscribe and join us for more epic animated Bible adventures.